What is going on, guys? How are you? Welcome back to the channel and to another video. It's June in 2023 and you guys know what that means. In case you missed it, and in case you missed the sheer volume of videos about Aliexpress watches that popped up in your feed lately or in the last few days, I'm not sure how that's possible because every single budget watch channel makes one of these videos. I will tell you again, it is the Aliexpress summer sale, and as usual we have to talk about it and have a look at some good deals. This year I want to mainly focus on budget pieces, even if it means looking back at some other watches that I have mentioned before, because I believe there are some really good bargains out there. Now, in case you don't know how this works, I'll go through a list of watches directly on AliExpress and I will tell you guys why I think they're worth your hard-earned cash. Now, with some of these watches I've had hands-on, and with some of I've only had experience with the brand, and some of them I actually just think they're worth having a look at. But I always say, do your own research before making a decision. You will find affiliate links down below, and we really appreciate it if you use them because they really help us small guys to make more videos like this. Now, enough waffle, let's get into it. Now, the first watch that we're going to start with is a watch coming from Proxima. Now, I haven't had hands-on with Proxima, but recently it started popping up in my feed a bit more, and to be completely honest, I'm actually curious about this, and I'm debating about buying it or not. I reached out to Proxima to see if they can lend one in for the channel, so I'm waiting on an answer. This one is called the PX1697 and it comes with two movements, and the price is between $263 and $439. And the reason that is like that is because it comes with two separate movements. You can either buy with a Solita or with a PT5000. I say that is a very big discount for a watch of this caliber. I think Gary from I Like Watches has done a review, and Honest Reviews also, these are the ones that come to my head right now, have reviewed this and they've been raving on about it. I think this is a homage to a Christopher Ward, and I think this is the C65 Trident if I'm not mistaken, but it's not as big as that one because this one is 39mm if I am not mistaken. So let's have a look at the specifications. So it's 11.5mm thick, it has a lug width of 20, and it also has case diameter of 39 and a lug to lug of 45. Now apparently the lume is very good on these, and this is something that is being compared with San Martin or Kronos or the higher end brands. By the looks of it, it actually looks really well, and I'm super excited to get a chance to have a look at this. Now, downside to this is, would you pay 450 euros or dollars for a watch from AliExpress just because you want to get it with that movement? We all know that with AliExpress watches, the biggest problem is the quality control sometimes, and also the customer service. But I will leave that up to you. My best advice, go for the PT5000. It is a proven movement, and it's been in watches on this kind of price point from AliExpress, and I had a few and I haven't had any issues with it. Second watch that we have on the list, guys, is a Kadison, and this is the model number. Let's have a look at it. The CH213M. This is a watch that I have a review coming on very soon, probably immediately after this video is released, and at that time of filming this was around $76. Even now is at $85.51, which is actually not a bad price. This is with a Seiko NH35, is 36mm, and it has a sapphire crystal and a stated water resistance of 100 meters with a screw down crown. Now for me, this, like I was saying in my video, I will put a link into this as soon as it's released, is that this brings me back to the old days where we used to get super excited about budget pieces. I really love this, and compared to other homages, this clearly is a homage of the Rolex Explorer, and compared to other homages, this doesn't actually, well, it's obvious that it homages the Explorer, but it doesn't have the Mercedes hands, so it has kind of like its own twist. But compared to other ones, this is 36 millimeters. I was gonna say 35. This is 36 millimeters, and it wears small. Personally, I like the size. You can also get it with a champagne dial. Personally, I like the size because I have a relatively small wrist, and for under $100 to get something that you could beat around, also has relatively decent loom. It genuinely brings me back to the old days where we used to appreciate bargains. Nowadays everything is a bit more expensive and on Aliexpress, and watches are getting better and better, and also the prices have increased. Kadison are still doing budget pieces and are actually worth it, so I do encourage you to have a look at this one. Now let's move on. Third watch that we have on the list, guys, is coming from Stern, and this one is the model number, they don't have a number, is 416. Now to me, this is a homage of a Seiko Sumo. Now I haven't had experience with this one, but I have experience with Stern, and in case you don't know, they're a sister brand of Sugus. And these guys, this is $144. Trust me when I say that you are getting a very, very good deal for the money. So for this one, let's go through the specs. We have a case diameter of 44, a lug width of 22, sapphire crystal. We also have 200-meter stated water resistance, thickness of 13, and I'm not sure if this one has it, but Stern usually are the only brand that does a at this price point that there's a loom date wheel. Also, not to mention, we have a ceramic bezel insert. Recently they released, this one doesn't have it, they have released a on the fly adjustment clasp. I can't speak. But this one doesn't have it. I don't think you can get. I think it's absolutely fine for $144, so I wouldn't particularly complain about it. Now let's scroll down and have a look at more pictures of this. I say the loom is great. Slightly bigger on the wrist, but is an absolutely, in terms of quality, I think Stern are comparable, if not as good as San Martin. What we have on the list, guys, is a Pagani Design, and this is the PD1758, and to my knowledge, this is an original design. This is reduced from 155 to a 141, and you get this in all sorts of dial variants and dial colors and insert colors, also bezel insert colors. Also, this has been, I haven't had hands on this one, but again, this is probably, from my experience, the cheapest one that features, the cheapest watch that features an NH34, the GMT movement. With this one, you get, in terms of size, you get a 40mm case, a 13mm thickness, a weight of 150 grams, 200-meter stated water resistance, and a ceramic bezel insert, also sapphire crystal. That Jubilee bracelet looks good. I have seen a review of this on Jody's channel from Just One More Watch, and I have to say that I was particularly impressed. It's an original design from San Martin. Obviously, it borrows a lot of features from the from Rolex, especially with that case design. 2 bracelet options, oyster style and also a Jubilee. So I really think if you want something a bit simpler, that is not as flashy, they also do this blue this kind of champagne cream dial with this blue bezel insert, and I really think it looks absolutely great. And for 144, Seiko movement GMT, can't really fault it. Let's move on to the next one we have on the list, guys, is a Tandorio, and I haven't had a Tandorio, I'm not gonna lie, but I've seen some reviews about it, mainly on Gary's channel from I Like Watches. This is reduced from $112 to $105. This features the new Seiko NH34 GMT movement, and again, the Pagani that we looked at previously wasn't the cheapest one. I take it back. This is the cheapest one that features the NH34 movement. I mean, where do I start? Like, even as if $112 for a Seiko NH34 movement wasn't enough, they had to reduce it to $105, which I don't think anybody's complaining, to be quite honest. Now, in terms of specs, the only downside to this I would have seen was not having a sapphire crystal, which this one does. So automatically is better than the Seiko that it homages. So we have a lug width of 20 millimeters, a thickness of 12.5, case diameter of 37. That's actually quite small, but in all fairness, the Seiko wins in the water resistance department because it has a stated water resistance of 100 meters. This one has a stated water resistance of 50 meters. I mean, would you be bothered about the fact that it doesn't have 100 meters? I think you're not going to take this swimming anytime soon. You're probably going to buy this watch for this movement, for the fact that for that money you have a sapphire crystal. The other thing is that from what I've seen on Gary's channel, this particular brand is not as cheap for a reason, basically. So I wouldn't have a lot of faith in the quality control. And as you can see here, from these pictures I can tell that it's kind of lacking a bit QC here, and the finishing on the case is not actually as high quality as you'd expect it to be. But then again, the main bulk of the money or the price of the watch is going into the movement. So and also be concerned about the loom. But other than that, I think this is a great looking watch if you're looking for something on a budget, just to get that movement that's a reliable movement. And I think this is the main reason why this is on the list. Let's move on to the another one on the list, guys. It is another Kadison, and like I was saying to you earlier on, this is back in the old days. So this is reduced from $125 to $116. And the main reason why you would buy this, in my opinion, is that Miyota 9015, the high beat movement, and also because this also brings me back to the nostalgia of the old days where we used to appreciate a bargain. The prices for these hasn't gone up that much in the last 2-3 years, so it jumped once to around $100, and it kind of stayed there. So for this one, I don't think I need to say more, because if you're a watch enthusiast and you've been watching the lights, you've been watching Jody's channel and other budget watch channels, you are very familiar with this one. So the next one that we have on the list, guys, is another Kadison. This is reduced from 183, I really doubt it, to a 65. I think before was around $100, but still dropping down to 65. This is the CH213M, and clearly this is a homage, or Kadison's Kadison's variant of the 62 Moss. The main reason why you would buy this is because of that Seiko NH35 movement. Again, I think it's the cheapest watch I've seen with this movement. Still brings me back to the old days. I keep saying this, and if you put things in perspective, this is cheaper than a Seiko Mecha Quartz. So if you look at other watches on Aliexpress, Pagani, I think the Pagani would be around the same price. And to be able to get an automatic movement, also I think this has a sapphire crystal as well, and a stated water resistance of 200 meters. This is an absolute steal for that money. This is what watches should be about, and this is what budget pieces should be about, and this is how we used to enjoy and appreciate these. You get this in a few dial variants. You get black, you get this champagne, you get a blue, and you have the option to get this with no logo, I think. And Kadison actually have really stepped up their game in the last with the models in the last few months, because I've already mentioned 3 watches from them that are at a very low price, and Kadison have been on the market for quite some time now. So do check it out, guys, if you want something again to beat around 38mm case that has a very reliable movement. Now let's move on to the next one. We're getting close to the end, guys, and we have the second watch from Pagani Design on the list, and this is the Daytona homage, and this is reduced. Well, at the moment you can buy this for 49 in a weird twist, and when you're going back to the summer sale, this is going to go to 62. So this is a watch that you should buy now. I'm not sure how this entire thing works, but this is lower than the actually summer sale price. Very, very weird, but I have this on the list because it's at $50 basically. So in case you're not familiar with this one, this is the PD1644. According to them, it's new in 2023. It features the Seiko VK63 quartz movement, so that is the mecha quartz with the snap of the chronograph hand. You're getting a case diameter of 39, a lug to lug of 48, thickness of 12, sapphire crystal, lug width of 20, and I think this has a stated water resistance of 200 meters. Now if you're into this style and you like this is another budget piece that has been on a lot of lists before, and I featured it on my other top 10s many times. So I'm sorry, I was wrong. It has a stated water resistance of 100 meters for $50. This should pretty much cover your day-to-day job, day-to-day tasks or lifestyle, and if it breaks, you can buy another one because it's only $50 again if you're into this style. So let's move on to the next one. Second to last watch that we have on the list, guys, is from Steeldive, and this is the Captain Willard homage. Is reduced from 91 to 88. So if you want to get this is going to be on a full bracelet. A few dial options here, blue, green, and black. You can get this on a rubber strap as well, but why would you? I think you should go for the bracelet, and I think it comes with a milled clasp. So it has a milled lower and stamped upper. Before, I think he was just they're all stamped. So for under $100, $88, this is an absolute steal. And this has been in many videos recently. I haven't had hands on with it, I'm not gonna lie, so it's based on specs and price alone. But again, sapphire crystal, you're getting decent lume, you're getting that iconic look, and you're also getting the Seiko NH35. If you're into something that you want to beat around a little bit more, I think the previous versions, by the way, used to have, like I was saying, this part here was stamped. So they've upgraded that, and from the pictures here, you can see that you have push pins. Now you can't have it all for that money, and I wouldn't mind if it has push pins to adjust the bracelet. I think it's worse when you get a stamped clasp versus push pins to adjust. So very good deal, very good watch, I would say, and a decent bargain. And I also think they include a silicone waffle strap into the package. So be sure to have a look, guys, and check it out. The last one that we have on the list, guys, is a Remoti. Now this watch made it to the list because of the dial options and because of the finishing. Haven't had hands-on with this, but I've only heard good things about it. You have a multitude of dial options, and James from Honest Reviews, as far as I remember, has reviewed this watch and he absolutely loves it. I've seen pictures of it on his channel, and that dial looks absolutely stunning. Very well finished watch. This also features the Seiko NH35, and it's reduced from 226 to 187. Now, compared to the other watches that we had on the list here, this might be a bit more expensive, but if you look at it this way, it's still under $200. You get a very nice dial, and it's actually very well finished. So I would say that Remoti is probably somewhere at this stage, probably on the same par as Chronos. and I think the price is actually properly justified. Do be sure to check it out, guys. And this was kind of like on the higher end of the scale. I love the fact that you have so many dial options, and they all have all these funny textures just to make all the watches a bit more unique, I want to say. It says here that it has a Grand Seiko hands, which I can see it does, but to me this is a Grand Seiko homage, the entire watch. So 11.6 thick, which is a very good thickness considering the fact that you have the NH35, a case diameter of 40, stainless steel, a lug to lug of 47, and a lug width of 20, in case we didn't mention it. So that was it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 summer sale watches, some top 10 watches on the AliExpress summer sale. Like I said, links into the description box below, affiliate links. We'd really appreciate it if you use them, as they do help the channels out. Thank you very much for listening to me for all this time, if you stayed until the end of the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.